We all know the efforts Al Gore has made in his quest to raise awareness of climate change. The former vice president has made huge strides with the success of his film, An Inconvenient Truth. He has gained the respect of millions and has won a Nobel Peace Prize for his accomplishments. Al Gore single-handedly was able to open our eyes to climate change, but not everything is what it seems. In this quick look, we will reveal the so-called truth that Al Gore has professed in his documentary. One of the most dramatic aspects of Al Gore's film is the decline in polar bear populations.
A new scientific study shows that for the first time they're finding polar bears that have actually drowned, swimming long distances, up to 60 miles, to find the ice.
But what he failed to mention was that of the 20 subpopulations of polar bears, 1 or 2 were declining in Baffin Bay, more than half were known to be stable, and 2 subpopulations were actually increasing. The global polar bear population has actually increased dramatically over the past decades, from 5,000 to 25,000. And the 2 populations that are in decline are from regions where it has been getting colder. Another of the most daunting impacts from global warming is the rising sea levels. When sea levels rise, it is not due to sea ice melting because it is already displacing its own weight. If you put ice cubes in a glass of water, the water line will not change when they melt. In its 2007 report, the UN estimates that sea levels will rise about a foot over the rest of the century. How is it possible that one of today's strongest voices on climate change can say something so dramatically removed from the best science? The IPCC estimates a foot. Gore tops them 20 times. Well, technically, Al Gore is not contradicting the UN because he simply says,
if Greenland broke up and melted, or if half of Greenland and half of West Antarctica broke up and melted, this is what would happen to the sea level in Florida.
All models clearly show both Greenland and Antarctica making small contributions over the century. However, Antarctica is generally soaking up more water than Greenland is shedding, as the IPCC predicts. They estimate that the very worst additional increase to be expected from Greenland could be 8 inches over the century, but this is possible only in a model where CO2 levels rise 2 to 4 times more than expected by 2100. Finally, perhaps the most heart-wrenching part of Gore's film is the heat death that occurred in Europe. While 35,000 dead is a terrifyingly large number, all deaths should in principle be treated with equal concern. Yet this is not happening. When 2,000 people died from heat in the United Kingdom, it produced a public outcry that is still heard. In Europe as a whole, about 200,000 people die from excess heat each year. However, about 1.5 million Europeans die annually from excess cold. That we so easily neglect these deaths and so easily embrace those caused by global warming tells us of a breakdown in our sense of proportion. It should be acknowledged that our main goal is not to reduce greenhouse gases, but to improve the quality of life and the environment. Now that we know the facts, hopefully we can look to the coming generations squarely in the eyes and say that we didn't just do what seemed fashionably good, we massively and thoroughly changed the world for the better through simple, tested, and cool strategies. We didn't just do something that made us feel good. We did something that actually did good.